Shit. Whatever. Hola, brochachos and amigos. Today's video is a bit of a timely one. If you cannot tell by the sweater I am wearing, and if you just, don't really listen to Nirvana, you may have not realized that this year marks 30 years since Nirvana's last album, In Utero, was released. That's crazy to think about, man. That is absolutely crazy. And next year will mark 30 years since the passing of Kurt Cobain, which is, crazy to think about, man. We've lost a lot of great artists and singers. Dang. But to honor to honor Kurt Cobain's legacy, and just because it's a timely episode, and hopefully this will help me get some views, we are going to, in my opinion at least, rank all three Nirvana albums. I am not including Incesticide because that was a weird collection of B-sides and BBC sessions, which I don't really care about. So we're going with their three main studio albums: Bleach, Nevermind, and In Utero. Oh, and also, in case you haven't seen in my hands, we're gonna get timely for this, since this is Nirvana, grunge, and all that, so we're gonna do the video with these on. Hell yeah. So, first I will give my overall review, thoughts, and ideas on the album, and then I will hit you with a quick ranking of all three of them. Does that sound good? That sounds good. All right. I'm already feeling good, but you know the drill. You know how we do these videos. You know how we roll. Alright. So, first album on the list is indeed Bleach, which was released in 1989. I'm using my phone to record dirt. I think it was 89. 88, 89, something like that. Okay, I'm good. I can do this now. Released around that time. This album, of course, features Kurt Cobain on vocals and guitar, Chris Novoselic on bass, and I forget his name, but it is not Dave Grohl on drums just yet, no. It is another man that they found earlier and would later fire after the making of this album. I'm sorry for forgetting his name, but also, I'm not sorry because Nirvana found a better and memorable drummer in the end, so it is what it is. But anyways, on to the actual album, Bleach. And well, the usual problems that I find with most debuts are still here, That's gonna be the thing. First thing that caught my attention with this album is that it is a lot more punk oriented. Like, yes, punk is a huge part in grunge. I've heard grunge be described as a mixing of punk and metal, which I see that. But this album really leans into the punk influence, let me tell you. It really does, man. Like you just have straight up punk bass riffs on here from Chris, and I don't know how else to explain it. I don't really know how else to explain it, but yeah. Now, of course, we gotta get into the most important part, the songs. Which songs slap the most on this album? For me, my pick for my favorite song is probably the most popular song off this album, and that is About a Girl, which, holy shit, that song is just fucking catchy. The entire hook of that song will just get stuck in your head, I swear. Just go listen to it. Tell me I'm wrong. You'll know I'm right 5 days later when you're still singing it. That's simple, man. It is just a fucking catchy ass song, dude, that I will sing a lot. My other favorite song off this album is Negative Creep. That song is, again, it's, even though I say this album does lean into more of the punk influence, this is still a Nirvana album. It sounds like Nirvana. It feels like Nirvana. So you're gonna get, so what, the songs that you are used to, the songs that everyone knows, Smells Like Teen Spirit, overplayed. Oh, sorry, allergies. But you are gonna get that same type of vibe, that tone, but again, it's just a bit more harsh and rough here. But overall, I would give this album about, I'm feeling a good 7.5 out of, a 7.5 out of 10. Really strong album, very overall good. Again, has its flaws here and there, but that's expected from a debut album. Not perfect. They would definitely go on to do better stuff, but a fine debut nonetheless. Which takes us on to our next album, Nevermind, which is probably what is the best thing to tell yourself when you see that album cover. Just, never mind. Just move on for a minute. How did they get away with that? It literally shows it. I'm sure you all know the album cover, so I'm not even going to describe it. I'm sure you all know it. Just how the hell did they get away with it's on blankets and stuff, man. I literally saw a kid, last year in high school, I was waiting for the bus, and I saw one kid hanging a blanket with that album cover out the window, and no one said nothing. I was like, it literally whatever. Again, like the album says, never mind. Just move on. Now, this is the album that not only put Nirvana on the map, but really put grunge on the map as a whole. Even though it is not the first successful grunge album. That would be Alice in Chains' Facelift, which was the first grunge album to reach gold status, so remember that. But this is the one that everyone loved, and of course we know the song that everyone knows, and the song that made them popular to the point that even Kurt Cobain hated this song. And guess what? I hate it too. I'm really fucking sick of it. I'm sick of talking about it, so I'm not even gonna bring it up. I'm not. I know it's the album opener. I know it's the most popular song, but I'm not gonna bring it up because I'm done talking about it. You want your opinions on that song? Turn on any rock radio station. You have a 75% chance that that song will be playing. I'm not even joking. But other than that, the rest of the album is filled with absolute bona fide bangers. Even the overplayed one is still a banger. It's just, I'm so fucking sick of it. Moving on. My favorite song off this album is a lot harder to pick because, again, it's just so much more. The album is just so much more consistent. The writing on this album is much more tight. Cobain is definitely leaning into a bit more of his weirder influence on this album, such as the Butthole Surfers. If you know anything about what the Butthole Surfers do, especially in the early days, yeah, that Cobain is definitely leaning into those influences here. Oh, and also I cannot forget, of course, the inclusion of Dave Grohl on drums, who just takes the drumming to another level on this album and absolutely kills it. Knows when to hold back a little bit and let the other instruments and Kurt have his moments, and knows when to go full on bombastic and steal the absolute show, man. And also Chris Novoselic just making some tasty ass bass riffs, especially on Lounge Act. Listen to the bass lick on Lounge Act. So good. So good. Other great songs are, of course, Come As You Are, which You can argue that song is also as a bit overplayed, but oh my god, dude, that song just gets me every time. Just so good. Absolutely fantastic. Then we go on to other great song. Excuse me. We have other great songs like In Bloom, Polly, which is one of my personal favorites. Holy crap, that song is just chill as fuck. But it's about kidnapping, so whatever. Then you got Lithium. You have what are other great? I'm trying to blank on some of the other great songs. The closing track on this song, again, if I'm talking about leaning into the Butthole Surfer influence here, the closing track, Nameless and Endless, or I think it's just Nameless, Endless, whatever, is just a barrage of screams, riffs, blast beats from the drums, and it's just a barrage of everything, but yet is still somehow cohesive, still works in the context of a song, and still flows very well, which is very interesting. Oh, and also there's the Batman song from this, Something in the Way. If you were around to understand that song when the new Batman movie was coming out like a year or two ago, you know what I'm talking about. So this album, I gotta go with like a 9.5 out of 10. This is damn near a perfect album, dude. I am just knocking it that half point for that one song being overplayed way too much. Honestly, that song made me overlook Nirvana for a long time. I was sick of Nirvana because I was sick of that song. But thankfully, I got my head out of my ass and I just let me listen to what else they have to offer. And they have a lot more to offer than just that song. So that's why I'm also doing this video. I'm encouraging you to listen to more than just the hits. That's what I'm trying to do. Do the deep dive into the albums. Find those songs that the radio isn't never gonna play. Find those songs, because they're usually sometimes the best ones. Remember that. Those are my overall thoughts on this album. Just freaking fantastic. And now we go into In Utero, which is probably the last... This was like the last big hoorah for grunge, as Kurt Cobain would pass away the following year after this album, and Nirvana would, of course, not continue because of it, because, yeah, you wouldn't if Kurt Cobain was your singer. You're not. This isn't an Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath situation where you can kind of replace the singer and have a good thing going on without it. You need Kurt Cobain for Nirvana to be Nirvana. That's just how it is. Dave Grohl knew that. He knew Nirvana was done. So what did he do? After this, he went and made the Foo Fighters, which is also a great band. And he also played with Queens of the Stone Age, which is another great band. Listen to all those bands. Great stuff. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. On to the Birthday Boy In Utero, which is the jacket here. Or sweater, whatever. Now this is my favorite album of Nirvana. I'm already going to tell you right now. It's my favorite. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Because this album truly leans into what I love. Truly leans into something that I really appreciate from music and its writers. Honesty. That's why my favorite grunge album of all time is Dirt by Alice in Chains. That album is literally an analysis of themselves, with their drug problems, with shit going on in their lives, how they know it's bad, dealing with their own mortality. That's why that's my favorite grunge album. And this album does a lot of the same things, but not really for the whole band, but mainly just the patriarch of the band, Kurt Cobain. This album, when you look at the lyrics and everything, it's like the best way I can describe it is like a scream of pain from a struggling addict. Someone who isn't gonna publicly ask for help, who isn't gonna come out and just say and dump his whole problems out, but he's gonna still do that in a way that in a way he can, in a way he feels comfortable in doing that, and that is through his art, that is through his music. And with that also being said, he does that while writing some more catchy ass tunes. Holy crap. Can we talk about Heart-Shaped Box real quick? Holy crap, that song is so good. Even though this album overall is way darker than Nevermind and Bleach, again, instead of writing about topics, like again, I said Polly was about kidnapping. Yeah, I said Polly was about kidnapping. You know, he's talking about different aspects. You know, he's writing about different things, scenarios on the other two albums. Here, all of his songs are about his struggles, are about his addictions. That's what this whole album is about. And it's just really good. And again, you get even more of that weird anti-music influence that I was talking about with the Butthole Surfers. If you're still sitting there confused, like, really, that's a band name? That's a real band. Look them up. That's a real band. The Butthole Surfers. Look them up. It's funny, but it's a real band, and they influenced one of the most influential songwriters of the 90s and of all time. So, yeah. But songs like Tourette's, again, just go into that darkness, that weirdness, where, again, Kurt's not really singing, he's just screaming. Just incoherent madness. Something you would hear from a crackhead screaming on the side of the street. That's what he's screaming into the mic. And then you have slower melodic songs like All Apologies, which are just beautiful. Honestly. Really just beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. But again, this is a 10 out of 10, man. This is just a great album that is, in my eyes, under these glasses, is just true, to me, is art. That's just art to me. I don't know. That's my opinion. Maybe you see it differently. I don't know. So, if I'm going to rank these albums, honestly, they just kept getting better. Bleach is at the bottom, but again, that doesn't mean that it's a bad album. The other two are just better. It's still a strong debut with some very catchy tunes that the majority of which went onto my playlist. Nevermind, pretty much the same thing, just better, more consistent. There aren't any song. Pretty much every song on here is a banger. I just didn't put like maybe one or two songs from this album, didn't make it onto my playlist. And then All Apologies, the whole thing made it on there. Great album. My personal favorite Nirvana album. If you were to pick Nevermind over this one, I would understand. If you were to pick Bleach above all of these, I would understand. Because again, they all had 3 damn good albums that have, each one has a classic song off of it. Each one has a recognizable song off it. Again, Bleach with About a Girl. Nevermind's got Smells Like Teen Spirit. Actually, that one has a couple. You also have Come As You Are, Something in the Way. And then In Utero's got All Apologies and Heart-Shaped Box. So just classic albums, man. I recommend you give them all a listen. Again, it's only 3 albums. You could probably listen to all of them in a day. It took me 2 days to do it because I listen to these albums when I'm at work. You know, kind of do a double. Kind of multitask there. But those are my thoughts on the Nirvana albums and my ranking of them. How would you rank them? What are your thoughts on each Nirvana album? Do you listen to Nirvana, or are you just someone who saw the t-shirt at Walmart and was like, oh, that's a cool design, and just wears it, not really knowing what Nirvana is? I'm not going to judge. You know, you do you. But if that is you, I recommend you actually listen to the band. Because you will probably... I recommend you actually listen to the band because it's just good music. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And watch more of our older videos. Yeah, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.